Hello everyone, Rubix talking here, and now we got a wonderful show for you today. We got three wonderful things that we're going to talk about. Actually, one of them not that wonderful because it's about our President Trump.
Okay, so, but who wants to go first? Who has the best? It's fine. Okay, so who has the best, subject to talk about? Who wants to go first?
Well, I can rant on for hours, but let's get some of the smaller stuff out. But it's still important, so let's let Creeper talk about the solar eclipse.
All right, guys. So on Monday, August 21st, 2017, because 2017, there will be a solar eclipse. Now, I live in California, so clearly I would know the time where the solar eclipse will take place, which is at 10:21 in the morning, I believe. In the morning, I believe. And so there, let's talk about 6 facts about the solar eclipse. So the first total eclipse was in the U.S. about 38 years ago, which is a hell of a long time ago because I was not born then. An eclipse only happens when the sun and the moon and the earth align, which if you think about Hercules, it's kind of like that. An eclipse happens in a new moon. It's not like Twilight, so no vampires or werewolves will come out. But it only happens on a new moon, and not every new moon. It just depends on the year span, and not every new moon. An eclipse can last up to a maximum of 2 minutes and 20.2 seconds long. Also, if you're in Nashville, congratulations. You're part of the, I can't say that word, so I would just say the numbers. 609.000 people who will get a good view of the eclipse. Other places of a good view of the eclipse is at Atlanta with 97% people will be seeing, Boston 63%, Chicago 87%, Cincinnati 91%, Dallas 76%. Of course there is more, but there's too much to cover and you'd get bored really fast.
So when you say the percentage, you mean by how much the sun is going to be covered, right?
Yes, how much the sun will be covered.
Okay. So
Can I also say one thing? For all those lucky people, remember, there's a good time during that solar eclipse to raid the Fire Nation.
No. Oh, yeah,
that's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
Also, one last and very important thing: your animals. Now, typically, your animals don't really stare up at the sun anyway, but you should treat it as a rainstorm because we don't know how the animals would act during this solar eclipse. Now, wild animals, when they come out at night, they'll act however they normally act. Now, for how would you say
domesticated pets?
Domesticated animals, we don't know how they act either. So it's a total eclipse, and that during the span of maybe how old your animal is, it could bring out their wild side, but typically probably won't.
Yeah.
But just in case for emergencies, treat it as a really bad rainstorm and bring them indoors.
Doggos, cattles, puppers, beware. Remember, the sunlight is scary everywhere.
All right, now who would you?
Keep going.
Who would want to go next?
So something about the solar eclipse.
All right.
Us as Mexicans, solar eclipse.
Fun fact: we are all 3 Mexicans.
Exactly.
So if any of the white people try to talk us down.
So the thing is that in Mexican culture, it's kind of curious how supposedly an eclipse for a pregnant woman. Supposedly, if you go outside during an eclipse, you could lose the baby or even make
I think that might just be a myth.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it could be a myth, but there's some women that say that when they went out during a solar eclipse, their children came out wrong.
Yeah, but it could have been just a genetic problem, or I mean, not to offend any women who are currently pregnant, but it could be just a genetic problem, or just something happened that kind of went wrong in the place where the baby develops.
You mean the uterus?
The uterus. Why did I forget that word? Go ahead.
I actually learned it from a different way. It's not the solar eclipse. It actually happens in a different way, where it's not a solar eclipse. It's actually a red moon. That's the way I learned. But the only way to counteract it is if you wear something red.
See, that's the funny thing about legends and myths and stuff like that. They're all different. This is gonna be off topic, but skinwalkers. You know what those are?
Oh yeah.
So you know what those are? The skinwalkers. Supposedly they're these Indian demons that can take the form of any animal. They're usually by Utah, Salt Lake City, Mapleton, all around that area. and you're just like, oh, it just happens here in the USA and it only has history here. But then you go to Mexico and they're like, oh yeah, we know about the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's the same like idea, and sometimes it's way different. Like with the skinwalkers, it's like thousands and thousands of miles apart, and for them to know like, oh, ours.
525,600
So like for us to have skinwalkers, and them to have what they're called, I think they're called nahuales, which is kind of weird because it means walker. The
first thing that came to mind
Coral!
was
narwhals. Yeah, but I mean that's my point of view. I don't know about anybody else, but
That's a weird thing about myths and legends and all that. They can bring people together, and they can also bring people apart. Like, okay, take Bigfoot for example. You can see millions
my
of
cousin's Bigfoot.
you can take millions and millions of photos and show them to a person that doesn't believe and say, oh yeah, and you can immediately disprove it, right? But you can show them to somebody who does believe and they can tell you exactly what's true about it. I mean, the weird thing is that I still think can never be solved about any myth or legend is that how come everybody takes a picture of Bigfoot on their computer instead of their actual iPhones that have fucking 4K resolution.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing that me and my father sometimes talk about. Because, like, look, I am into ghosts and stuff like that, you know, creepy shit. Like, you know, oh, demons and goblins and all this. Well, not goblins, more like, you know, just ghosts and spiritual stuff. Me and my dad also talk about, okay, supposedly with the technology that is now, like you said, Rubix, like, oh, I lost my train of thought. With cameras being, like, super advanced and everything, we need to know that sometimes everything is fake. But, well, we got off topic, but anyways.
Really off topic?
Yeah, really off topic.
We're supposed to be talking about the fucking solar eclipse.
Okay.
Right? Not all these legends.
I came out with the solar eclipse legend, and then they came to the red moon, and all of a sudden from the red moon to the Llorona and skinwalkers and all that stuff.
When did we talk about La Llorona?
I don't know, it just came to mind. What else do we have to talk about?
Well, anyway, system, do you want to add anything, which is, you were talking about something about a town?
Oh, yeah. So, I think by now everybody should know what happened with the Spain attacks, which was a terrorist attack that took the lives of many. For what we know now, the Spanish region of Catalonia has been rattled by 2 terrorist attacks. And an explosion over 3 days in, what authorities are treating as a trio of linked incidents. On Friday, police said the perpetrators of the attacks in Barcelona and Cambrils originally planned to use explosive devices, but their plans were foiled after bomb-making materials accidentally blew up a house. This, I believe, what was the thing that like gave them up, where like, oh, they're right there. You know, like it said, foiled their plans.
Ahí están los pinches ISIS.
Oh my god.
But what happened on Friday was that in the early hours of Friday morning, 5 armed attackers drove a car through the crowd and eventually ran over 75 miles of southwest Barcelona. One woman was killed and 6 others injured, including 1 police officer. And the police did engage in a shooting, and 5 were shot dead from the terrorist attack group, and 4 of them were shot by 1 officer. The attackers were wearing some type of fake suicide belts, and they had carried an axe and knives in their car, and they had a wounded person in the face with a knife before being shot. And then on Thursday, a white van plowed into pedestrians at around 5 p.m. on Las Ramblas, the city's busiest tourist promenade. So there's videos on YouTube, Instagram, everywhere about people being on the streets with blood everywhere, not trying to set horrific images to the viewers or anything.
Otherwise the video will get taken down.
Yeah. At least 13 people were killed and more than 120 injured in the country's deadliest attack since 2004 of the Madrid bombings. And that's my part of the news for now. But I don't know if you guys have to add anything else to that. I don't know if you want to.
Can I just say 2 things real quick about it?
Yeah.
First off, we have to give props because I remember you saying earlier about the cop that shot 4 out of the 5 of them. He should just get a raise.
I mean, you're right, because to be able to shoot 4 people and yourself only, I mean, I don't want to sound weird or anything, but that's pretty impressive. And many people will be like, oh, killing a human being, but still, I mean, he's from an ISIS group, a terrorist group that has no mercy for children, mothers, or anything at all.
Another thing, well, technically two things more, because I kind of miscounted. Secondly, let's just have a quick moment of silence for the innocent bystanders. Okay, and returning once again, we hope that you guys are okay, the families through those, and we apologize for anything that has happened to you. And one final thing, and I forgot what I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
I was thinking of something like deep and all that, but then I completely forgot. It left my mind after the
Lost your train of thought?
Well, I'll say something about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now, I actually watched a video earlier about this in my history class.
Oh.
And I saw a lot of things that I didn't like to see, because personally, I do not like world disasters.
Yeah, no, but nobody does, obviously. I am
petrified. I'm terrified of it. Now,
Unless you're Hitler.
Yeah.
Stop it. Now, it made me cry. I think I probably was the only person in my class that cried.
You mean that had feelings? Because
I guess. I mean, everyone has feelings,
Yeah.
but it just got me really hard. Because what if it happened in our hometown, in California?
Yeah.
In high school, no one ever shows their true feelings because at risk of not being cool, you know.
Yeah, that is very true. That is
So-
true.
Fun fact number 2: we are in high school.
Yeah.
We're about to go to college.
We're
Yeah.
seniors.
We're seniors.
Fun fact number 3 and 4.
I mean, and above all, you know, terrorism is something that I feel is based off of like irrational hate. I mean,
But it could also mean fear, because I mean we feared a lot of people, and like you know how the Jews feared Hitler. This probably is a really bad scenario, but I'm just gonna say either.
Yeah.
Or like whatever lie Hitler said that he hated the Jews. Maybe it was out of fear because something I heard on the internet that Jews killed his mother or.
Oh yeah,
there was no internet in World War II.
No, but I mean in our time.
In our time now, that's what
I heard something about that, so maybe it was out of fear that's why he decided to say that he hated the Jews for some apparent reason. Now, it could not be real, and you know, I could have maybe just made it up in my head. You'll never know.
You'll never know.
Yeah, maybe it was just like that. They're doing it because out of fear of us, because I mean, this is a free country. Sorry, my bad. This is a free country, sorta, kinda.
I mean,
Donald Trump.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, disclaimer, everyone. None of our facts are 100% facts. Some of them are our opinions. Okay, so
Very much opinions.
Yeah.
it's strictly opinions.
Mainly.
So,
Our whole
terrorism,
show-
like what you said, is based off of fear. Yes, I am in agreement with you due to the fact that, you know, like you said, Hitler, Jews killed his mother.
That probably wasn't a fact at all.
Yeah, it could be not a fact, or maybe it could be.
It was an example.
Yeah, it's an example. Okay, I
but
understand
not
it.
maybe a true example.
So, I mean, I don't know. Terrorism is a very difficult subject to talk about due to the fact that one does not have fear, maybe, you know, and doesn't have any problems with themselves, I guess, which could be something very difficult to talk about. But respect to all those victims who were in Barcelona. I give you my condolences to all the families that suffered any tragedy or anything. And like they say in Spanish, somos fuertes y podemos seguir adelante.
You are in the prayers of everyone, even to those who don't believe in prayer.
You know, I think for our only strictly English like viewers and all that, I think we should just translate some of the stuff we say.
Yeah, okay.
So,
yeah, sure.
Would you care to translate
Translate? What would you like me to translate?
what you just said?
Okay.
Que estamos fuertes.
So, what I said is that Barcelona is strong, people are strong, and united, a lot of things can be achieved. That's what I... Thank you for watching this video, and please like and subscribe to the channel. We hope you enjoyed it, and please share it with your friends and family so you can all be up to date with current news. Bye. Thank you for watching.